In this video, I want to talk about my personal journey of me coming to LA, my experience with the music industry, and what led me into this new journey of content creation and why I started all of this. And just wanted to give you a little bit of my perspective because a lot of people don't know that much of my story and where I came from. And of course, I will be doing more videos like this where I'm going to be telling you fun stories about my career. But I wanted to make this video specifically about what inspired me to really start my content creation career, and hopefully some things of what I say in this video will inspire you as well. If you're a musician, if you're a young musician, or an older musician who've had a career but maybe you've never posted anything online, I just want to tell you about my perspective of um, how this all started and what made me started. So let's go back 10 to 13 years. I'm originally from Peru. I will tell you a little bit more about my early story in another video, but I'm born and raised in Peru. My first language is Spanish, and I fell in love with jazz at the age of 16. I started playing the tenor saxophone, and you know, I was looking for places to go and study. And at the age of 18, I was admitted to Berklee College of Music with a little scholarship that helped out for sure. Then I went to Berklee. I studied there for 4 years. I will make other videos with little fun stories from that journey as well. But then after that, I moved to Vienna for just a year. I had some touring opportunities going on there and some work. So at that point, I was a little tired of the US. I wanted, the European experience. So I moved there for a year. Some things were great from there, but the industry was really in LA, and a lot of my friends from Berklee moved to Los Angeles. So I was like, I need to go there. Unfortunately, at that time, I have lost my OPT, which was my, they give you when you are on a student visa after you finish college in the US, they give you 1 year where you can actually work and then hopefully find a work visa to stay in the US. I lost all of that. I just went to Europe at that point. So I got a little frustrated on my time in Europe. I was like, well, oh my God, everybody's in LA and I need to go there. Did I lose my opportunity? I was 23 at that time. And I got even a little depressed at that time. I was like, oh my God, I lost all the opportunities that to stay in LA, and that's where the industry is. That's where I should be. I would know what am I gonna do. Anyway, long story short, I went to a workshop called the Hollywood Music Workshop in Vienna. For some reason, it was almost like meant to be. I found that it was going to be in this town called Baden in Vienna, and at that point they were getting started. Right now they're really big. It was a Hollywood Music Workshop, and it was basically some of the most amazing Hollywood composers and orchestrators and arrangers that were going to give this workshop in Vienna about Hollywood music. And at that point, I was always looking at Los Angeles as the film industry, and I always wanted to make film music at that point. I thought that I needed to go to LA to try it out. So I went to this workshop. I met Christopher Young, this great, very famous film composer, Conrad Pope, who is phenomenal, one of the best Hollywood orchestrators, who orchestrated for John Williams and a lot of other amazing composers. Nan Schwartz, who became a little mentor later on, amazing arranger. And then I met them and I learned from them. I got super excited. The leader of the creator of the Hollywood Music Workshop at that time was Dimitri Levici, one of the most amazing Hollywood violinists who has been a leader in so many recording sessions for famous films. And I met them and they really inspired me to go to LA. In fact, Christopher Young back then had a little house that he hosted for composers. So he told me, you can come over to the Tilden House, it was called. And you can stay there for, a really, really decent price. And you can stay for 4 months, figure out what you need to do, and then you can stay. So I took the opportunity. I was like, okay, this is it. This is my ticket to LA, right? Anyway, after the Hollywood Music Workshop, I started, brewing the things in my head. Okay, I need to go to the Tilden House. They gave me a slot after for for the next year. So I still had like 6 months or 7 months to really work things out. So I did. I told my friend back in Vienna, I'm going to leave. I need to go to LA. This is where, once you leave your country, you put so much effort into that you need to really make it. Once you leave, I feel this constant, not pressure, but this push of like, I need to make it because, I already make this big financial investments in my career, and just leaving, being out away from your family, there's a lot of it. So for me, it was like, LA, I need to try it out. And I don't want to try it out when I'm older. I want to try it out now. So I went to the Tilden House. Anyway, that started my career in LA. I started working for Christopher Young as an assistant film composer. A lot of people don't know that, but that's kind of what I thought I needed to do in LA. But then after a few months, after a year, I really wasn't liking the direction of what I was doing. I came to LA, kind of in an old-fashioned way, thinking that I needed to do certain steps, like with other careers, right? I needed to work as an assistant for a composer. Then I needed to play as many gigs as I could, and then I had to follow through and then network and connect with people, and then hopefully my career will lift and I would get enough work to live a decent life as a musician. But a lot of these things were not the reality. In fact, I started following those steps and I got so burnt out. There was a moment in 2016, 2015 when I just arrived to LA. I was already a jazz guy. I was playing out of college, but I thought that there was not enough jobs as a saxophone player. So I went to the film route. I really liked it. I thought maybe I can work my way up. I found a lot of things I really, really genuinely disliked from the film industry. I don't have to go over all of those now, but I did not like how film composers were living their lives, and it was too much stress, too much. I was like, well, this is not my passion. I like it, and I'm gladly going to do it and work for film and work for TV. It's just not a path that I wanted to like go full on. So then that kind of died off. And then, but in 2017, I started really playing a lot of gigs. As a saxophone player, I played so much salsa, Latin music, jazz, just everything I could. I tried to get as many gigs as I could. But then I came to that burnout, which now I saw so many people and great musicians in LA, spending 20, 30 years just gigging. And there was a few very important points about the gigs. Number one, the burnout, right? Number two, you lose all your weekends to gigs. I did not want that. Number three, the gigs pay the same as 20 years ago. And that's what I thought. It was like, oh, back then it was okay, and then talking to, I had opportunity to work with amazing musicians, and they were telling me that they've been here in LA for, since the 80s. And it's like, well, I have news for you. The gigs pay the same as in the 80s, but back then it was a lot of money. You could have a few gigs and that would allow you to pay your rent and to be profitable. The time I got to LA, a lot of places, live music shows were shutting down, and I got a little disappointed because living off gigs was just not very good, profitable on one of the most expensive cities in the world, right? So I had roommates. I had my girlfriend at that time. It's now my wife, and which is another reason why I came to Los Angeles. But we were living in this house, and it was really hard. It was really tough, and I got a little bit sad about the future of my music career because there's always that financial part that people don't like to talk about. And I feel more comfortable talking about it now because it's truly fundamental. If you want to be a musician, if you want to create great art, if you want to share your music, you need to be profitable, right? So I started exploring all of these different avenues. And then when my girlfriend told me at that time, she was my girlfriend, she's like, what, you should just start doing your own stuff. Like, what do you want to do? What speaks to your soul? And this is when I was checking out Instagram for the first time. I didn't even have an Instagram account in 2016. I think I created it around that time, 16 or 17. And then I decided I was just going to try and post a video. Now, I had YouTube as well, but at that point, I really had my YouTube very much ignored for years until literally this year, as you can see. I just started, I'm just going to grab a play along. I'm going to write a solo, one of those solos I love to play, because I thought at that time, oh, jazz is not going to give any money. Nobody wants to listen to that. And then I started posting these solos. It took me a while initially, and I say this because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to post. It's too much work. It took me a lot of work initially, but I did it. I filmed, I started getting my recording set up in my house. I was like, let's just have some fun. Then all of a sudden, a lot of people started to follow me. Now, this didn't happen overnight. I just kept posting. I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. I see people actually talking to me. Hey, do you actually sell your solo? Can I download the PDF of this transcription? I was like, oh, wait, here's an opportunity. Why don't I create an ebook and sell it, right? That way I can hopefully manage, be profitable and do what I love and help people all over the world with the stuff that I've learned at Berklee and the vocabulary I've learned. So that's when I wrote my first ebook. At that point was Saxophone Solo Series. Now it's called mastering bebop vocabulary, which is now part of my jazz vocabulary package in my courses. But at that point, I decided I'm going to write that ebook and I'm going to record each solo and do a video. At that time, I found this platform called Sounds Live that allowed me to do a scrolling score. So I started experimenting with that. Became very successful on Instagram, and it became the most important platform of my career because, as you've seen now, I grew followers, and it's been where it really helped me out get so many opportunities. So I started seeing amazing results on Instagram. So I was like, oh, wait, I love doing this. This is where I need to be going. And then I was still doing all of the gigs. I was doing all of the other things in LA, but I realized that in order for me to create a future, I needed content. And at that time, content creation wasn't that big yet. It exploded after COVID. But I was like, I was looking at other players that were really good, that were doing it, and how successful they were and how profitable they were. It's like, I want to do this. And I genuinely like music education, something that I want you to understand. For me, music education has been a part. Like, I love teaching what I've learned. I think I'm good at it. I'm good communicating the knowledge I have. And I really enjoy coaching. I enjoy expressing my knowledge. I enjoy when somebody gathers information from me and I can communicate it and then they become better for it. To me, that's just so valuable. So I deeply enjoy that. And I think people resonated with it. And this is why I was able to grow my account. Initially, more of an education kind of thing. But what I'm saying here is I started finding a voice through content creation. Then a few years went by, and then COVID hit in 2020, right? It was absolutely no gigs. Los Angeles was one of the worst cities in the world, I think, for COVID, because also politically they closed everything for like 3 years. I had no gigs, nothing was happening in the city. In fact, if it wasn't because I had to wait for my visa, I would have probably moved somewhere else temporarily, but I couldn't. Back then we were all locked down, and I was waiting, in the midst of applying for my green card, and a lot of very deep personal things were happening around that time. So the only thing I had at that point was, well, I should just create content. And I started posting more often, creating more content, finding my voice. Of course, at that time, we were also having the Afro-Peruvian Jazz Orchestra, where we recorded and we released our first album that got nominated for a Grammy. And that's the year I actually won my Latin Grammy for Best Arrangement for La Flor de la Canela, which was a crazy, unexpected experience. I'll have another video talking about that experience because it was a lot of fun, but very, very crazy. I literally accepted my Grammy via Zoom because everything was canceled. It was all virtual. I'll have another video about that story. But I started really creating a lot of content and finding a voice there. And not only that, I realized that the future of my career and the music industry, I needed to be a content creator. And content creation started exploding. In fact, I regret not boosting my YouTube channel from before, because I would have been bigger by now. Honestly, a lot of people really started boosting their content creation, and I wanted to do that. My Instagram really grew. I started creating courses, selling my courses, really sharing my knowledge. And that's when all this entrepreneur mindset started to come into me, and I started really listening to other people, because before I would just listen to famous musicians and people like that. I was like, well, I want to be a business guy as well. I would love to understand how to build something that helps people all over the world, but also is profitable to me. And that way I can keep creating the content, right? Because when you have a system and a business that you can be profitable with it, then it's even easier to just help people all over the world. So that's where I started a lot of things, my courses. I started selling my courses, and that inspired me to keep creating more and more and more content, which inspired me to get better. And here's the thing, that became my secret weapon to really drastically improve my musicianship. I don't mention this a lot when I talk about in my videos. I talk about specific concepts, right? Musical things that have helped me. But honestly, the biggest thing that helped me, and I always say this to my coaching students, was that there was a point where I decided I was going to record every single week, right? At some point, I think every day. I mean, literally every week I would sit down, record, write a solo, record, write something, just because posting became sort of a live performance for me, because there were no live performances at that point. I was like, Well, if I record and post something, it's my way of putting something out to the world, and do it fast as well. You don't have to wait for like recording an album. You can literally post videos, see the effect they have on people. And of course, at that time, Instagram and TikTok came out, and a lot of algorithms were changing. So, it was a confusing time in that sense. But I decided I was going to do that, and I got so much better. I started seeing a dramatic improvement in my playing, because all of a sudden, once you record yourself every day or every week, you're listening now to your sound. My Instagram became a catalog for me, a practice catalog of the things I was actually working on. This is a hidden gem that I didn't realize until later, right? When I talk to my coaching students and I tell them, record yourself, have a little file where you save your progress and you can listen back to your recording. Well, that to me became my Instagram account. And then later on TikTok, I was just posting that would be for me, and then people would love it. And then, that would lead me to, sell my courses and do all of this business around it, but mainly help people all over the world with music education and jazz and improvisation. And later on, I started doing things in Spanish, as you can see now on my YouTube channel. But anyway, all of this, I wanted to mention this because I want to inspire musicians. Hopefully, if you're listening to this and you've been wanting to create either a YouTube channel or Instagram, maybe you don't feel comfortable posting, just get started. My first post was very bad. My second one as well, until probably later on I got getting used to it. And now this year, I really decided I was going to boost my YouTube channel. I took a very important decision in June. I was going to post every week. As you've seen, since June this year, I've been posting one tutorial every single Tuesday. And now I'm posting other things, like I have my Spanish tutorial series and other things like that. That to me is important because I'm looking at the big picture here. Music industry has changed a lot. Before, you would have musicians that would would earn royalties from just performing on a movie or just performing on an album. And right now, a lot of that is just not the same. There's a lot less. So if you want a profitable life as a musician and you want to give back, then to me, content creation was where I found like a new passion. But honestly, I'm as passionate in content creation as I am on music itself. Like, I just love creating musical videos. I love tutorials. I love when I create a tutorial and somebody just tells me how impacted they were from it and how much they learned. And it's just, I love that effect. And this is why, first of all, if you've already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I want to really thank you for your support and following me in this journey. Hopefully I can become a really big account in a few years. And if you're watching this video for the first time, you would really help me out. Please just subscribe to my channel. This channel is really dedicated to, well, of course, sharing my music, my artistry, really helping you become a better musician, a saxophone player, improvisation, arranging. Just basically, I'm using this YouTube channel as the hub of my house, of everything I've learned, the most valuable things in music education, but also this kind of videos now where I want to share little bits of my story. So you're going to find this, there's a playlist now that I've created where I share little different things about either musical concepts that have helped me or just stories about my life. I want you to maybe, hopefully, what you're hearing can inspire you. But a lot of my content creation career came out of frustration from the music industry and from the gigging industry, of being tired of being everything. I don't want to be burned out. And if I do have to be burned out, I rather it be from my projects and from something that I'm creating. So I know now that every bit of content that I create, every YouTube video that I create is going to stay forever, right? And it's going to keep helping people. So this is why, to me, making a YouTube video now can be more valuable than a gig, right? I mean, of course, unless it's any, there's of course this particular gigs that are amazing that I'm going to tell stories about. But the day to day, I want to create as much value as I can, so that this can become a big YouTube channel. And of course, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go check out my Instagram, Lorenzo Ferrero Music, as well, and really try to help as many musicians all over the world. This is how my content creation career started, and now it's become a main part of my career. To me, it's really important. I want this to be something where I can help as many people all over the world, inspire you, not only show you my performances and my compositions, but actually take you behind the scenes for you to understand my process, but also understand where all this comes from. Really, I believe life experiences are as important as learning music itself. So to me, every single thing that I live, every travel, every bad experience, everything that happens in my life has contributed in a way to what I do musically. So I'm excited to see what other endeavors life, is going to present to me. But I just hopefully I can inspire you. If you're a musician and you've never posted anything, just get started. Don't be afraid. It's going to be something so rewarding once you start putting out content. I know some people don't like it, but if you're a musician and you really want to also have another avenue that can be profitable to you, so people to get to know you, then use social media. My Instagram account has served as a business card for me. To get so many amazing opportunities that if I didn't have it, then people wouldn't know about me. And you need to be present in this, in social media, and you need to start presenting your music, I know, some people don't like to do it as much, but I feel if you want to be a musician nowadays and really be profitable with your music, I think content creation is a very, very important part. And I want to encourage you, if you're a musician, to get started. Just wanted to tell you that, a little bit about my story. Then this year, actually last year, I really started a coaching program where I help musicians all over the world really, really boost their improvisation, saxophone skills, and arranging skills, where I work privately with each student. That's my way to really help one-on-one and get really dedicated to each person. It's been truly an amazing experience to me, because right now, since I started this coaching program, I've been learning so much, because every time I share something valuable with a student, I have to make sure I do it really well. So I every time I finish a session, I practice what I preach every single time, and I get better by it. So I'm trying to hopefully be a living example of, whatever I'm preaching, I am applying in my life. I want to really walk my talk. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this video. Hopefully this inspires you a little bit. Leave in the comments what would you like me to talk about next. These videos for this specific playlist are more about the music industry, my stories, and just to really talk about different ideas and musical things that a lot of people might not be talking about. So leave it in the comments, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you on the next video.